Hi, I'm Paige Feldman, writer, director, producer, and I'm looking to reinvent the romantic comedy for the 21st century. And here on this YouTube channel, I'm looking to share my process with all of you. Writers, filmmakers, creatives, anyone who loves telling stories. Today, I want to talk about why I gave up on screenwriting contests and why maybe you might want to too. Why did I give up on screenwriting contests? It's simple. I wasn't winning. Actually, it's a little more complicated than that. See, I wasn't winning, but also I was getting a ton of really positive feedback from all of the readers. Things like, oh, I connected with this story so much. Oh, your characters are so great. Oh, this is really original. And yet I wasn't advancing. There wasn't anything in these notes that could pinpoint what exactly was wrong with my projects on it, and I got a lot of great feedback from my writing group and trusted readers to tell me that, yeah, I was actually doing really well. It's just that I wasn't connecting with the right people. The readers at the contest weren't connecting with it, and it wasn't working. So I decided to swear off contests. I wrote a thread on Twitter about it, and part of my swearing off contests is that instead of entering contests, I took the money that would have been part of the entry fee and put it in savings. And I was going to use that money to produce a pilot of one of my favorite scripts. And because we were in the middle of a pandemic at the time, I couldn't film it. So I turned this pilot, which was then titled Winning the Breakup, into an audio series pilot called How to Fall in Love the Hard Way. And I used the money that I saved from not entering contests to pay the actors, to buy some sound effects, to get a logo designed, to pay a composer. And so I wrote about that experience, both on Twitter thread and also into johnaugust.com, because at the end of the day, I saved $1,400 in 6 months. Y'all, $1,400 just from putting aside money that I could have spent on contest fees. I didn't even look for contests. I just found them. They came into my inbox. I saw them on Twitter. And these entry fees, it was for the deadline that I could make if I were to enter it right then. And it wasn't including extra notes or extra coverage. Those were all just the fees to potentially win the lottery ticket of screenwriting competition, because it is a lottery. It matters who reads your script. People's taste may vary. And the readers, they might say they're looking for the best script, but if you ask any 10 people what their favorite movie is, odds are you're probably not going to get many, if any, repeats. So what one person thinks is the best movie is not what another person thinks is the best movie. And you're banking, when you're entering a screenwriting competition, on finding that one person who shares your favorite movie. That's kind of difficult. My favorite movie is The Silence of the Lambs. I know there are a lot of people whose favorite movies that is, but I don't know if I've ever actually met somebody who just said that unprovoked. And this isn't to say that contests are a scam. Some are, obviously, and you need to be careful and look at who's putting them on, what the prizes are, and see if past winners were getting those prizes delivered. Or if past winners were, even related to or friendly with the contest promoter or person who was putting it on, which has happened. Not in any of the big ones, but like little contests. But not all contests are a scam. Some are great, and for the right person who writes the thing that the people in these contests are looking for, it can be an amazing opportunity. But I do want to call out that there are other ways to break in and get noticed besides contests. The first feature that I'm credited as a writer on, produced feature, I got that job because I accidentally took an acting class. And I told the teacher this, and he announced to the class that I'm a writer, and I worked with a lot of the actors in the class to write monologues for them. And teacher in the class knew someone, introduced me, who's a director. They're looking for a writer. We worked on a couple scripts, and then 5 years later, he had financing for this idea, but he needed somebody who was a writer. And it's coming out on Amazon Prime. And that's all because I took a class and networked and put myself out there as a writer. I found a different way in. And if contests aren't working for you either, there are other things you can do. I have a good friend who sold a script because she passed her script to a friend. And they liked it so much that they passed it to their friend who worked in development. And suddenly she got optioned by Sony. Even if you don't have those kinds of connections, I'm the biggest advocate for making things. And part of this is because a lot of people I found don't really understand my writing until they hear it or see it on screen. And actually, my favorite story from shooting in Terabang is my short form comedy anthology about moments after sex when being emotionally naked is way more terrifying than being physically naked. Is that my DP, on the first day of production, we were taking a 5-minute break. He came up to me and he said, "Hey, so we were shooting there, like, I realized, like, I read your script and it was fine, I guess, but I just heard the dialogue and, like, I didn't get it, but now I get it and it's awesome and I'm so happy that I'm here." And that was just the best compliment to me because as a screenwriter, I write so that my words can be performed. I don't necessarily write so that people can read the words that I write. I mean, they need to read them in order to buy them, but I need to make sure that they sound good when they're said. And so I would much rather have my words sound great coming out of people's mouths and maybe not hit when someone's reading them on the page. And that's why I make things and why I've given up contests, because I know that my work is better performed than read. And as proof of that, Interrobang got into 7 festivals around the country, including a world premiere at Seattle International Film Festival. And I mean, we have a release date coming up, which I'm so stoked about. But like I said, I'm not against contests. And my sister, for example, she does great at contests. She once challenged herself to write a script in a month and submit it to the Nickel. And she got quarterfinalist. She tried to make something and I helped her. I was basically like PA, assistant camera. The script was good. And so we filmed it, she edited it together. It was really short and fast and we watched it. And somehow that script that she wrote, which made complete sense, didn't translate with her hand. She isn't great at making things, but she's great at writing and she's actually pivoted towards novels because of that, because she knows how important it is to have established IP when you are trying to sell a script. So she's creating her own IP there. Again, there are so many different paths into the industry. So if contests aren't working for you like they weren't for me, find something that is. Find something where people react to it positively, where people say, "I didn't get what you were doing, but now I do." Lean into the little success that you might be having. And if you think, "I haven't had any success," then go talk to your writing group. Go talk to some trusted readers and ask them, what do I do best? What should I be doing more of? What should I be working on strengthening? And if you don't have those people in your life, find those people, because outside help, outside opinions can be so helpful in figuring out your specific path into being the best filmmaker, storyteller, creative writer, whatever that you can be. I say all this about contests not working for you, then you should quit, assuming that you've put in the work and time on your scripts, that you've gotten feedback from writing groups and from beta readers. Because sometimes not advancing is a signal that you're not ready yet. But if you've put in all that work, if you're getting really positive feedback from strangers and your writing compatriots alike, that might be a signal a contest isn't for you. But if you're still struggling with the craft of writing, which no shame, we've all been there, and contests are giving you better feedback each time, you're getting closer, you're advancing, then maybe this is a good investment. Maybe it is a good way to see where your talent and strengths lie. But like me, if you were getting great feedback all across the board, including from the contest readers, and not advancing, you know, maybe it's time to try something new. I gave up contests because I was using my entry fee as a way to finance other people's dreams. And instead I took this money, this entry fee, and I invested it back in myself. And now I'm seeing results tenfold. And I know this is only the beginning. So while contests aren't a scam, they're not for everybody. Before I go, I do want to say that there is one contest I would caution everyone against entering, and that's any contest that says that the prize is putting your book, not your script, a book, a novel, in front of an agent or in front of an editor. If there's, like an actual publication deal attached, that's great. You should do that. But if the point of this contest is that you get introduced to an agent or an editor, run. Book agents are easily findable and queryable. They find most of their clients from the slush pile. It is much easier to get a book agent than it is to get a film agent because you can query them even if you're a nobody with no connections. So if somebody is charging you an entry fee to find a way to potentially introduce you to an agent, run, because you can write your own query letter for free and submit your book to that agent. I almost guarantee it, without having to go through the hoops or the entry fees of a contest. Other than that, though, the key, I think, because I'm still learning myself, the key to success in a creative field is persistence and trying new things and being open to change. Because there are so many ways to find success. You just have to find the one that works for you.